The Imperial flagship Iron Vow drifted through the black ocean of space. Its crew was tired but alert, scanning for any sign of enemy activity. Then, without warning, the sensors screamed. A massive vessel appeared at the edge of the system. It was unlike anything in the Imperial records. Dark, smooth, and almost transparent, as if made from shadow and light. Captain Rhines stepped forward, staring at the strange image on the screen. "Identify it," he ordered, but the scanners failed. The ship's details blurred and shifted, refusing to be recorded. Some crew members swore they saw it flicker, as if it was there one moment and gone the next. "Open a channel," Ryan commanded. A burst of static filled the bridge, followed by a deep, calm voice. "We are not your enemy, unless you make us." Then the connection broke. The Imperial officers exchanged uneasy glances. Warships were already moving to intercept, but the unknown vessel did not retreat. Instead, it remained still, drifting slowly in their direction. "Energy buildup detected," a technician shouted. The ghostly ship began to glow faintly, as if preparing to unleash a weapon. Ryan's instinct screamed danger, but he hesitated. Was this a threat or a warning? Suddenly, the lights flickered. For exactly 12 seconds, the mysterious ship vanished from all sensors. When it reappeared, it was no longer in front of them. It was behind the Imperial fleet. No engines, no visible movement, yet it had crossed impossible distances in moments. The crew froze in shock. The strange ship sent no further message, only a string of unknown coordinates. Then its hull shimmered again, like mist in the sunlight. Captain Rhine's voice was low but steady. "Follow it." Somewhere in the darkness, the ghostly warship was waiting.
The Imperial fleet moved cautiously, engines humming as they followed the trail. The ghostly warship drifted ahead, always at the same distance, as if it wanted them to follow. No matter how much the Imperial ships increased their speed, the distance never closed. It was like chasing a shadow in endless space. Captain Rhin stood at the center of the bridge, eyes locked on the target. "Any readings?" he asked. "Negative, sir," the sensor officer replied. "It's blocking us. I can't even confirm it's solid matter." A sudden wave of static washed over the communications channel. Voices whispered faintly, words in no known language. Some sounded almost human, others alien. The whispers faded, replaced by silence. Then the vessel turned, slowly, deliberately, toward the heart of the Imperial formation. "Shields up," Rhin barked. The warship began to emit a soft blue light, growing brighter by the second. No weapons were visible, yet the tension in the air was crushing. The lights swelled, and without firing a single shot, 2 Imperial destroyers went dark. Their engines died, their lights went out, and they drifted powerless in space. "Systems failure," came the desperate cry over the comms. "We've lost all control." The voice cut off. The ghost ship did nothing more. It simply hovered, silent, like a predator watching its prey. Then, as suddenly as it had come, it began to drift away again, leaving the 2 disabled ships behind. On the main screen, new coordinates appeared, glowing faintly. "Sir, it's inviting us somewhere," the navigation officer said. Captain Rhin hesitated. Every instinct told him this was dangerous, but curiosity and the need for answers pulled at him. "Set course," he ordered. "We're going in." Far ahead, the ghostly warship vanished once more.
The Imperial fleet followed the new coordinates through the cold emptiness of space. The path was strange, winding between dead asteroid fields and long-forgotten battle sites. Wrecks of ancient ships drifted silently, their metal twisted by centuries of damage. The deeper they went, the darker the stars seemed to grow. On the Iron Vow's bridge, the crew worked in tense silence. Sensors flickered, showing the ghost ship ahead one moment, then losing it the next. It was as if the vessel was slipping between realities. "Sir," the sensor officer said, "the readings are wrong. The ship is in front of us, but I'm also detecting it behind us and above." Captain Ryan frowned. "That's impossible." Suddenly, the ghost ship appeared, this time only a few hundred meters away. Its dark surface shimmered, revealing strange glowing symbols along its hull. The symbols pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat, before fading into the black metal. A low humming sound filled the bridge. The crew covered their ears, but the vibration seemed to pass through their very bones. Then, without warning, the ghost ship disappeared. For 12 long seconds, there was nothing but empty space. When it returned, it wasn't ahead. It was directly behind the flagship. No movement, no engine flare. Just there. Before the crew could react, a transmission came through. The voice was deep and layered, as though many people were speaking at once. The words were in an unknown language, but the tone carried a strange calm. Then, on the main display, an image appeared. An old star map marked with a single red point. Beneath it, a short message flashed in Imperial Standard. "Come alone." Ryan's grip tightened on the armrest. The trap was closing.
The order was clear, yet impossible. Come alone. The Imperial fleet could not simply let their flagship vanish into enemy hands. But Captain Ryan knew this was no ordinary threat. If they refused, the ghost ship might destroy them without warning. He signaled for the rest of the fleet to hold position. "We'll approach alone," he said firmly. Murmurs of protest rippled through the crew, but no one disobeyed. The Iron Vow moved forward, leaving the others behind like shadows in the distance. The ghostly warship hovered in the darkness, waiting. As the flagship drew closer, its strange symbols returned, glowing brighter than before. They shifted and twisted, forming shapes that looked almost like faces that seemed to watch the crew. Without firing a weapon, the ghost ship released a ripple of blue energy. It washed over the Iron Vow, and every screen on the bridge went black. The lights dimmed to emergency power. "Engines still online," the helmsman whispered, "but we're not moving." Ryan checked the view outside. The stars were gone. The Iron Vow floated in a black void with no sign of the fleet, no sign of space itself. Only the ghost ship remained, glowing softly in the dark. Then, in a blink, they were somewhere else entirely. A shattered world hung below them. A planet cracked open like a broken shell, its surface littered with the remains of cities and ships. Lightning flashed across its torn skies. The ghost ship drifted lower, as if inviting them to follow. Ryan's jaw tightened. "Take us down." As the planet grew larger in the viewport, a strange signal began to play through the ship, an eerie melody, slow and haunting. Somehow, it felt like a warning. The Iron Vow descended into the shattered planet's thin atmosphere. Dust and debris drifted in the air like ghosts of the past. Below, jagged ruins stretched for miles. Towering structures split in half, bridges hanging over empty craters, and streets buried under centuries of ash. The ghostly warship glided ahead, silent and steady. Its dark hull reflected flashes of lightning from the storm above.
Captain Ryan watched carefully, his instincts screaming that every step deeper into this place carried danger. "Sir," the communications officer whispered, "the strange signal is growing stronger. It's not random. It's a pattern." Before Ryan could reply, the ghost ship vanished again. One moment it was there. The next, only the broken city lay ahead. The Iron Vow slowed, scanning the ruins. Suddenly, movement flickered across the cracked buildings, tall, thin shadows darting from one broken wall to another. "Contacts!" the tactical officer shouted. "They're everywhere!" The figures were unlike any alien the crew had seen. Their bodies seemed partly real, partly mist, as if they were fading in and out of existence. Their glowing eyes locked on to the Imperial ship, and the haunting melody from earlier shifted into a low, rhythmic pulse, almost like a heartbeat. Then, without warning, the ghost ship reappeared above them, releasing a beam of light that struck the ground. From the beam, a massive structure began to emerge, an ancient tower fully intact despite the destruction around it. Strange symbols glowed along its surface, the same ones seen on the ghost ship's hull. A voice filled the bridge, calm but commanding. "Enter the tower. The truth waits inside." Ryan stared at the tower, feeling the weight of the decision before him. This was no simple encounter. It was an invitation into something far older than the Empire itself. The Iron Vow landed on a cracked landing platform near the base of the ancient tower. The surface trembled slightly under the ship's weight, as if the planet itself resented their presence. Storm clouds swirled above, flashing with silent lightning. Captain Ryan assembled a small team. They stepped out into the choking dust, their boots crunching on shattered stone. The tower loomed high above them, its black surface shimmering faintly as if it were alive. Strange symbols glowed along its walls, shifting whenever they were looked at directly. The closer they came, the stronger the strange heartbeat-like sound became. It echoed inside their helmets, matching their own pulse. The huge doorway at the tower's base stood open, darkness stretching endlessly beyond. Inside, the air felt thick, almost heavy. The walls were covered in the same glowing symbols, but now they pulsed in a slow rhythm. As the team moved deeper, the lights shifted from blue to red. "Sir," one of the crew whispered, "I feel like we're being watched." Suddenly, the symbols flared bright, and a wave of energy swept through the corridor. The lights of their helmets flickered, and the air grew cold. From the shadows ahead, tall, mist-like figures began to appear, the same ghostly watchers seen in the ruins outside. They didn't attack. Instead, they stepped aside, forming a silent path deeper into the tower. At the far end, a massive chamber opened before them. In the center hovered a glowing black cube, humming with power. A voice, the same deep-layered tone from the ghost ship, filled the air. "Your empire is built on forgotten lies. Take the cube and remember." Ryan reached out, his hand trembling. The cube's light flared, blinding white, and the world vanished. When the light faded, Captain Ryan found himself standing on the bridge of a ship, but not the Iron Vow. The room was larger, older, and filled with unfamiliar technology. The crew around him wore armor of an ancient design, their faces human, but harder, sharper, as if carved by war. Through the massive viewing window, he saw a galaxy burning. Entire fleets clashed in the void, their weapons tearing planets apart. Strange banners flew among the stars. None bore the symbol of the current empire. A figure stepped forward, clad in black battle armor with a golden crest. His eyes burned with intensity. "I am Admiral Carr of the First Human Empire," the man said. His voice carried both pride and sorrow. Ryan's mind raced. The cube in his hands pulsed in time with Carr's words. "Why show me this?" he asked. "Because history is about to repeat," Carr replied. "The signs are here: corruption, greed, the same mistakes. If you wish to save your people, you must choose a side. Take the cube to the coordinates it shows. If the Empire follows, they will face the Phantom Fleet." The vision began to blur, the battle fading into mist. Carr's final words echoed in the void. "Remember, Captain, ghosts are not always dead." In an instant, Ryan was back in the tower chamber, the cube still glowing in his hands. And outside, the ghostly warship waited.
Captain Ryan and his team stepped out of the tower, the cube's glow casting strange patterns on the ruined ground. The ghostly warship hovered silently above, its presence heavy in the air. Ryan could feel its eyes, or whatever passed for eyes, on him. The Iron Vow's crew hurried aboard, engines warming. But before they could lift off, the ghost ship moved. It descended slowly, blocking out the storm clouds, until it hung only meters above the platform. Without warning, 3 identical copies of the ghost ship appeared around them, each one moving in perfect unison. "Sir, they're everywhere!" the helmsman shouted. "I can't tell which is real." The copies circled the Iron Vow, their hulls flickering between solid and transparent. Then, as if on some silent signal, all 3 passed straight through the Imperial ship's shields. No alarms triggered, no resistance, just an impossible violation of their defenses. On the bridge, every console went dark. A single image replaced the controls, a star map marked with the cube's coordinates. Under it, one word flashed in crimson: "Go." The ghostly vessels pulled back, drifting into a loose formation around the flagship, as if escorting it. But the fleet Ryan had left behind was closing in fast, Imperial reinforcements pouring into orbit. "This is Captain Varric of the Imperial Second Fleet. Stand down, Ryan, hand over the cube, and surrender the unknown ship." Ryan's eyes narrowed. He could almost feel Admiral Carr's warning echoing in his mind. The choice was clear, but dangerous. The ghost ship shifted slightly, its weapons, if that's what they were, beginning to hum with low, menacing power. Whatever happened next would decide who controlled the galaxy's oldest secret.
The 2 forces faced each other in the shattered planet's orbit, Imperial warships on one side, the ghostly warship and its copies on the other. The air on the Iron Vow's bridge felt heavy, charged with the promise of violence. Captain Varric's voice crackled over the comms again. "Last warning, Ryan. Give us the cube or we will open fire." Ryan glanced at the glowing artifact in his hands. It pulsed faster now, almost urgently, as if it knew time was running out. "Helm," he said quietly, "plot a course to those coordinates." "That takes us straight through the Imperial fleet," the pilot warned. "I know," Ryan replied. The ghost ship's commander appeared on the main display. His face was calm, his voice deep and steady. "Decide now. If they fire, we strike. But once we strike, there is no going back." Varric's ships moved into attack formation, red targeting beams locked onto the Iron Vow. "Fire on my mark." Before the order could finish, the ghost ship moved. A pulse of invisible energy rippled outward. Every Imperial targeting system blinked off, their weapons going cold. Shocked voices filled the comms. Ryan took the chance, full speed ahead. The Iron Vow surged forward, weaving between disabled enemy ships, but some systems on the Second Fleet recovered quickly. Lasers cut across the darkness, grazing the flagship's shields. The Ghost Ship and its copies darted around them, intercepting enemy fire. They didn't destroy the Imperial vessels, but they made sure none could stop Rhine's escape. As the Iron Vow cleared the last blockade, the cube flared so brightly it filled the entire bridge with white light. The coordinates were close now, but Rhine knew whatever waited there could change everything.
The Iron Vow emerged from hyperspace into a region of space so dark it felt like the stars had died. No planets, no debris, only a single point of light ahead, pulsing in rhythm with the cube in Rhine's hands. The ghostly warship glided forward, its copies fading away until only the real vessel remained. It took position beside the flagship, almost like a silent guardian. "Sir," the navigator said, "the signal is coming from that light, but it's not a star." As they drew closer, the light resolved into something massive, an ancient shipyard floating alone in the void. Dozens of enormous warships slept there, their designs older than anything in the Imperial archives. Each one glowed faintly, waiting. The cube in Rhine's hands vibrated, then floated upward, leaving his grasp. It drifted toward the shipyard, releasing a deep, resonant tone that seemed to vibrate through the hull. One by one, the ancient warships came alive. Lights flared across their hulls, engines igniting with a pale, ghostly glow. The sheer scale of them dwarfed anything in the current Imperial Navy. A voice filled the Iron Vow, the same layered tone Rhine had heard before. "The Phantom Fleet is awake. They will not serve the corrupt. They will not bow to tyrants. Choose their first target." Rhine hesitated, knowing the decision could alter the balance of power across the galaxy. In his mind, he saw the faces of his crew, the endless wars, the lies of the Empire, and Admiral Carr's warning. He gave the order. The Ghost Ship moved first, leading the Phantom Fleet into formation. Together, they vanished into hyperspace, leaving the dead space yard empty once more. For the Empire, the ghosts were real now, and they were coming.